Simon, President working in the Southwest, trying to shore up the Latino vote. Once again tonight in Ohio, President Biden getting a much higher percentage of the vote in his primary than Donald Trump does in his primary. Sherrod Brown now has an identified opponent in the Senate election race, a full Trump-supported opponent who is as Trumpy as Donald Trump. What's your assessment of the state of the race on this Ohio primary night?
Well, I think that the most important thing, as you mentioned, is that the Biden campaign is really turning on. I mean, they're starting to spend the money that you mentioned, this big cash advantage they have over Trump. They're starting to get deeper now into the general election. The president and the vice president are campaigning much more. And there's some evidence, I mean, I don't want to jump the gun here a little bit, but there's some evidence that you're starting to see things shift a little bit more in his favor. There are 5 polls taken since the State of the Union that have Biden ahead now. And in the Economist tracking poll, the Economist averages, it tracks all the polls. He's actually up by 1 point over Trump now. So, here we are. We're in the general election. Joe Biden's a strong president. The Democratic Party is winning elections across the country. And Trump is an unprecedented dumpster fire, as you've been talking about all night on this show.
So we're running the ads that the Biden campaign is doing because they can afford them and the Trump campaign cannot. Some stunning numbers coming out about Trump fundraising. In 2023, last year, the year before the election year, the Trump campaign raised 62.5% less money from the small dollar donors than it did in 2019, the year before that election. And those small dollar donors are really huge funders in the aggregate of past Trump campaigns.
Yeah, look, I mean, Trump is in trouble right now. I think the Trump is strong bubble is bursting in front of our eyes. I mean, he's been as we've discussed on air here, he's been underperforming polling in virtually every early state and struggling in these primaries much more than Biden did in his. They're struggling mightily raising money, both hard dollars with low dollar donors and also high dollar donors, right? We're going to see one of the worst presidential year financial reports from Trump probably in the next few days. Republicans are fleeing the House and retiring in record numbers. There's an unprecedented revolt in the Republican Party right now. We've got news today that a bunch of Haley's most important fundraisers, wealthy people, have now shifted over to Biden and not to Trump. I mean, this thing, Lawrence, we've been doing this a long time. I mean, this is the ugliest political thing that we've ever seen. And I think part of what's beginning to happen now is the bubble, this idea that Trump is somehow strong. He's not. He's weak. He's a dumpster fire. He's not a juggernaut. And I think that the media is beginning to wake up to the fact that Biden is coming out of the State of the Union strong with a huge wind at his back, and Trump is struggling in an unprecedented ways as we head into the general.
The New York Times is reporting that there's more money coming Biden's way. The League of Conservation Voters want to put $120 million into the Biden campaign. Outside groups like that are pledged already for at least $1 billion. No such announcements on the Republican side.
Yeah, look, as we've discussed, I mean, since Dobbs, the Democratic Party is fired up, and we've been winning elections, raising tons of money. We've been taking stuff away from them all over the country. It's a very energized party. We know what's at stake here, right? We know that democracy is on the line, and people all across the country are responding to this call to step up for the Democrats. The same has not been happening on the Republican side. I mean, since Dobbs, they have struggled again and again in election after election. They're now struggling to raise money as well. And I think that, we head into the general here with the Democratic Party strong, unified, and winning elections, the Republican Party struggling, deeply divided, and in rough shape as we head into the general. So, as I like to say, Lawrence, in every way imaginable, I would much rather be us than them as we head into the general election now.
Yeah, and the reason we stress the money is that the big money expenditure is buying television ads, and that is still the way that you reach the swing voter in the end. Simon Rosenberg, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thanks, Lawrence.